I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game and it's free. Click the link down there.
DreAllDay.com.
What's up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Today I want to tell you just a story of how it happened, of how I walked on in my first college basketball team. Well, the only team that I walked on to. I'll tell you kind of what happened after that for a little bit of context. But many players ask me about walking on in college because for whatever reason, maybe you're like me and you didn't really play much in high school. I was in high school. I didn't make the team till I was a senior, and I didn't do nothing that 1 year that I was on the team. You can read about that in my book, Buy a Game. The link's down there. It's free download you can get. And even players who did play in high school, maybe you just didn't have stats like that, or maybe for whatever reason you weren't recruited, didn't have a scholarship offer, no one invited you to walk on at a school or anything like that. So you wanted to go to school, you wanted to go to college for maybe the academic reasons, maybe you went because you wanted to play ball, but the coach don't even know who you are, and you want to walk on and make the basketball team. So this video is going to tell you how I did it, and maybe you can glean some things from what I did to work for you in your situation to walk on to the basketball team. So again, as I told you, high school, I didn't do much. Our season ended, let's say around March. We had a playoff game. We lost like first round of the playoffs. I don't even know if did I even play in that game? I don't even think I got in the game. We lost the playoff game. Season's over. So now the school year, I got the rest of the school year. So we got March, April, May, and like half of June. Because I'm from Philadelphia. Our school year goes to like the end of June. So once that ended and the weather broke in Philly, because I'm from Philly, it was still kind of winter time at the time our season ended. I just started going to the court. I started going to the playground, Finley Recreation Center, Mount Airy, that's where I'm from. Just going to the playground, working on my game. And my confidence was at an all-time high at that point. You know, I'm 18 years old. My confidence is as high as it ever been. Not because of what I did on the basketball team, because I didn't do anything, but because every day in practice, the best player on our team, this dude named Darian Chavis, he was the best player on the team. He averaged like 20-something. He was all city. He was going D1. He ended up playing D1 ball. He and we was in the same class during the school day. So him and I used to always go back and forth talking shit about ball, even though he was way better than me, at least results-wise. But him and I used to have like this running game of one-on-one we played before practice every day. And we didn't really play to a certain point. So we would just play until the coach came, blew the whistle, we start practice. But me and him would play one-on-one. And I was holding my own against him. Like he overall, over the course of the year, we didn't keep the whole score, but he probably won. I'm pretty sure he won. But I was holding my own. I was stopping him sometimes. I was scoring on him sometimes. And I'm looking at this dude like, he's like one of the top 20 players in the whole city. So I know I can play. I just needed to get the game experience. I needed to get my confidence up. And I still needed to improve my skills. I needed to improve my ball handling and all that. Because I was going to play guard. This guy was a point guard, averaging like 22, 24 points a game. So anyway, that summer, worked on my game that whole summer. Went to the park, played in the rec leagues, whatever leagues I could play in. I had a job, so I was working a lot of the times. And when I got to school that following fall, I went to a school called Penn State Altoona, right outside of Philadelphia. This is where I went for my freshman year. When I got there, my only idea was, all right, I don't know who the coach is. I didn't even know the coach's name. I didn't know who was on the team. Mind you, this is the year 2000. So there was a website, but it wasn't how it is now where you could get damn near any piece of information you want. I don't even know if they even had the basketball team on the website at the time. And if they did, I didn't look for it. I didn't care. Because I knew I was going to the school anyway. So what do I need to look at the team for? I don't need to look at the roster. I don't need to know who the coach is. I know I'm going to this school one way or another. Either way, I'm going here. So I'm going to just show up. I'm going to go to the basketball court, and we're going to see what's up. So that's what I did. When I got on campus, of course, I knew where the basketball gym was. Because any of you ever been to Penn State Altoona, it's a very small campus. It got like 6 buildings total. One of them being the gym. The gym, one of the biggest buildings. Orientation for school was in the gym. So I go to the gym when school starts. I find out what time people go and play, pick up. I go in the gym. I think it was like they had this thing called Common Hour on this campus. I don't know if they had this at all college campuses. They didn't have it at the school I went to after this, Penn State Altoona. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But Common Hour was like from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, there was no classes. So every single day, no matter what classes you had, how they were set up, between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock, there were no classes on campus. So everybody would go to the cafeteria, or maybe you went to the computer lab to study. A bunch of people came in the gym, and they would have intramural sports during the Common Hour. And I'll tell you, this is why they had the Common Hour, because Abington's a commuter campus, which means there's no dorms, no apartments on the campus. So that 12 to 1 hour, that was when they would have intramural sports. They would have intramural basketball, soccer, I don't know, touch football. They had all kinds of different stuff. But whenever intramurals was over, that's when people would come in there and just play pickup basketball during that hour. And I'm like, man, I can't play during that hour because I still got classes to go to. I didn't want to change clothes and have to change back. But then eventually when intramurals was over after a few weeks, whenever it was done, they would have pickup in the middle of the afternoon or late afternoon after the classes was done or after most people's classes was done. And once I kept coming in there, mind you, being that it's a small campus, being it is the only basketball gym on campus, my mentality is, okay, the guys who was on the basketball team who came back, they eventually going to come to the gym. This is the only gym we got, so it's not like it's 5 different gyms and you got to figure out where everybody's at. They eventually got to come in here. This is where everybody's at. Anybody who's interested in anything athletic got to walk in this building. I'm going to eventually find the guys who on the basketball team. Somebody's going to know somebody. So when I walk in, or even if I didn't meet the guys, I could just go up to an office building and be like, hey, you know where the guys from the basketball team are at? You know when they meet up? You know where the coach is? You know who I could talk to, who I could introduce myself to? Just ask around. I could have easily just asked around and found out who was who. It's the same thing you can do anywhere. You walk into any type of a volunteer organization. You go to a meetup. You're looking for a certain person. Like, yo, I'm looking for such and such. You know where he is. Yo, you know who this person is. You know who the director is. Who's the person who handles the money? Who should I talk to about this? Just start asking questions. So I went in there, finally found the guys who was on the basketball team. They said, yeah, we're going to play pickup at this time, this time, this time. I showed up to the gym to play pickup with them. They didn't know who I was. They didn't know if I could play, if I could not play. All they knew was just seeing me stand there, and I wasn't playing at the time. So when we went in there to play basketball, we started working out and playing pickup. I showed my game. I showed that I could do this thing, I could do that thing. Doesn't matter what it was I could do, because you got your own game. You got to do what you could do. But I just found out who the basketball players were. I'm going to synopsize this whole thing. Number one, find out where the gym is. Find out where the gym's at, the basketball team plays at. If you don't find that gym, start asking people questions. That's step 2, ask questions. Where's the guys on the basketball team? When do they play pickup? Do you know where I could find them? You know how I could get in touch with this person or that person? Go there in person and do this. Many players have emailed me or sent me snaps and they're like, yo, Dre, how do I impress the coach through emails? You can't impress a coach through emails. Nobody give a damn about your emails. And if you got footage, some footage that shows you can play, then, man, use that to go get yourself invited to walk on. But I'm talking about once you show up. Once you're physically there, this is much more powerful than sending an email or making a phone call, because you could be saying any kind of bullshit on the email or a phone call that's not true. Show up in person and say, look, I go to school here, so I'm already here. I got over that hurdle. You see me, I'm standing in front of you, so we over that hurdle, so you know I'm actually a real person. Where the basketball team at? Where the basketball guys play ball at? When's the pickup games? When do the best players come in the gym so I can show my game? And you might not get too many chances to show your game, because my philosophy in basketball is very simple. I could watch somebody play ball for like 60 seconds and know if they can play or if they can't play. That doesn't mean I'm going to know your whole game. Doesn't mean I'm going to know all your history. Doesn't mean I know what your potential is to get better. I can watch a player, give somebody a basketball, watch them on the court for 60 seconds, and I can know if they can play or if they cannot play. And yes, it is that clear. Either you can play or you can't. It is a black and white, clear line between the two, in my opinion. Okay, so there's no gray. There's no I could do this, or I'm getting better, or I work this. I don't care about none of that. Either you can play or you can't. The first day I came in there and played pickup with the dudes on the basketball team, it was clear to me. I knew in my mind before I even got on the court, but even once I started playing, I was like, I can play with these dudes all day. I can outplay most of the dudes in here, no problem. And we had dudes ranging from people who play center to people who play point guard. I said I can play with anybody in here after the first day of pickup. And everybody who was in there playing knew I was going to be on the basketball team after one day of pickup. Why? Because I can play. That don't mean I'm some kind of superstar, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Michael Jordan. But this is the point that I'm making is you can or you can't. So when you walk in to go walk on whatever school you go to, I'm going to tell you how to clear some hurdles. First of all, pick a school. Now, how are you going to pick what school you're going to play to? What school you're going to go to try and play? You got to figure that out. If there was a simple way I could explain it to you, I would, but I can't. As far as walking on, because you don't have anything linking you to any school. You don't have a coach inviting you and saying, hey, I'm inviting you to walk on. So now you got a little bit of an in. You got one foot in the door. That's a different situation. I didn't have one foot in the door. I didn't have nobody who knew me. There wasn't nobody putting in a word for me like, yo, look out for this dude, Dre, coming to your campus. I just showed up cold. This was like a cold call. Straight up cold call, show my game, make my own way, hustling. That's all this was. So if you're in that situation, first of all, you got to pick a college. There are thousands, I think literally thousands of colleges in the United States. You got to pick one. All right, now maybe it's academic reasons that you go to school. Maybe it's athletic reasons. Maybe it's financial reasons. Maybe it's location reasons. Maybe one of your friends go there. Maybe your girlfriend goes to the school. I don't know. You got to decide on a college. I mean, you 18 years old or 17 or 19, you on your way to being an adult. College is a transition from childhood to adulthood, right? This is an adult thing. Make a decision. All right? Adults need to make their own decisions for their own lives. Male, female, if you're a man or you're a woman or you plan on becoming one, you need to start making your own decisions. I am not going to tell you what college to go to. Somebody had messaged me on Instagram like, yo, can you give me a list of colleges that I could possibly apply to because I want to play ball? Like, hell no. Are you kidding me? That's your job. All right, you in high school, it is your job to start figuring out where you're going to go to college. All right, I don't know what other job you got as a high school senior besides just make sure you graduate and pay your, I don't know, your class dues, go to the prom, whatever you're going to do. Find out what school you're going to go to. Think about your future. That's your job. It ain't nobody else's job to tell you what schools you can choose from. You decide what schools you want to choose from. First of all, you got to figure out what the hell you want. What do I want? Is my number one priority basketball? Is it academics? Is it location? Is it money? Is it my girlfriend? Is it my boyfriend? What is it? What is your priority? If you don't know, you need to turn off YouTube, turn off the TV, turn off your phone. You need to spend some time thinking about your future. What are you doing? If you don't know your future, it ain't nobody else's job to help you figure it out. It's your job to figure it out. And I just helped you, matter of fact, by giving you this video. So figure out what school you're going to go to. Get to the school. Get there. Go to school. Get registered. You know, get your dorm room. Get your apartment. Whatever you're doing. Make sure you got your class schedule. All that. Then go to the gym. Start asking questions. Yo, where the basketball team at? Where the guys on the basketball team? Where's the coach's office? How can I find somebody on the hoop team so I can find out when the pickup games are? I guarantee you ain't gonna have to ask more than 3 people that question before you got pretty much all the information you need. I don't care how big the campus is. I ended up going to Penn State Altoona, got recruited there after my freshman year. You can read about this in my book. I ain't gonna tell you the whole story. But we would go up to Penn State main campus, play ball with the D1 guys. It ain't take us no more than one day and about 2 hours of pickup games before people start telling us, yo, y'all need to play against the dudes from the basketball team here, because they can see we could play. They can see we wasn't no regular dudes. It won't take you more than 3 people to talk to if you're serious about this before you get the information you need. Now all that's left is you get on the court and show that you got game. Now either you can play over here, you can play, or you can't play. If you can't play, it's gonna be clear. If you can play, it's gonna be clear. And here's the good news about all of this. You already know if you can play or you can't play. Don't talk me to death about your game. Don't email me to death about it. Don't leave comments about how good you are, what you think you're gonna do. Don't nobody care what you say in the comments. All that matters is what you do on the court. What you do on the court, history is going to speak for itself. Or it's not. Everybody work on your game. DreAllDay.com. Testing. 1, 2. Sound check. Test.